Okay, so today we're diving into DigitalOcean. We've got all their info here, like their about page and all their products and VPS hosting plans pages. So like you want to know what developer cloud even means, right? But you don't want to have to become a tech expert to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Think of this deep dive as like a shortcut to figure out if DigitalOcean is right for you.
I'm already liking some of this stuff I'm seeing. They're all about simplicity and predictable pricing. In the cloud world, that's huge. Things get so confusing, and then the bills come, and it's like, whoa.
It's true, and it's such a relief to see a company doing it differently. DigitalOcean gets that developers would rather be, actually building stuff than trying to decipher some crazy pricing plan.
I see that. Okay, so their About page talks about Droplets. They say it's like the foundation of their platform. What's the deal with these Droplets? Can you break that down?
So basically, Droplets are like the engines that make your DigitalOcean experience go. They're these virtual machines that you can customize, and they power your websites and applications.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like picking the right size engine for a car, right?
Is
Like you
it
wouldn't put a scooter engine in a monster truck. Haha.
You got it. And just like there's a car for every need, there's a droplet for every project. Like they've got these things called shared CPU droplets, perfect if you've got a smaller project, and they're really easy on the wallet too.
That makes sense. But what if you need that monster truck power? What then?
Well, that's where dedicated CPU droplets come in. They give you a lot more power for those heavy-duty applications, or if you've got a ton of traffic.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get the picture here. Now, they also mention things like general purpose droplets and CPU optimized and even memory optimized. It's like they have a droplet for everything.
They do, and it makes sense, right? It's all about finding the droplet that's perfectly tuned for what you're doing. Need to process tons of data. CPU optimized is the way to go, working with huge data sets. Storage optimized is your new best friend. You work smarter, not harder, and you don't pay for stuff you don't need. That's actually a major plus that DigitalOcean has over the big cloud guys. They give you a ton of control.
You're not stuck with some cookie cutter plan that doesn't really fit.
Exactly. That kind of flexibility is a big deal, especially if you're a smaller company or just starting out. You just pay for what you use, and you can scale up if you need to, no problem.
I love that. Okay, so I have to ask about this Paperspace thing. I keep hearing about this Paperspace acquisition. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, that's big news. So Paperspace, they're a big deal in the AI and machine learning space. Like they're known for their crazy powerful GPU computing, which you really need if you're training those really complex AI models.
Wow, Paperspace and DigitalOcean. That's interesting. What does that actually mean for DigitalOcean, though? Like, big picture.
It tells you that they're serious, right? About this
Oh,
whole AI and machine learning thing, which, by the way, those fields are just blowing up right now, and having the right hardware to actually de-those that stuff, it's essential.
so they're not just about websites anymore.
Nope. They're branching out. But here's the thing. They're not just chasing the next big thing. They're sticking with what they're good at, like
Hmm.
keeping things simple. They're taking these technologies that seem really complicated and they're making them easier to use for everyone.
I like that. Okay, so we've got these droplets. We've got this push into AI. What else is there?
Their managed databases, those are worth checking out. They've got options for all the popular ones like MongoDB, MySQL, PostgreSQL, but they manage it all for you.
Oh, managed. So it's like you've got like a personal assistant for your database, taking care of everything behind the scene.
Exactly. You don't want to waste time setting up servers, worrying about security, all that maintenance stuff. DigitalOcean takes care of it. You focus on the important part, which is building your application and using your data.
Wow, that's huge for developers. I bet they can actually sleep at night now. So speaking of making life easier, DigitalOcean seems to get that developers, they don't live in a bubble. This whole community aspect seems important to them.
It's huge. And their community is really one of the best things about them. They have this super active forum where developers can connect with each other, ask questions, share what they know. It's like 24/7 support, but for anything DigitalOcean.
So you're not just like alone in your basement at 3 in the morning trying to figure out why your server crashed.
Exactly. And they've got tons of tutorials too. Documentation, they keep it updated. Need help figuring out your first droplet? There's a tutorial for that. Want to learn about their API? They've got you.
It's like all that knowledge right there whenever
Yeah.
you need it. Okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. They also mentioned this Hacktoberfest. What is that exactly? It sounds a little bit spooky, haha.
No spooky stuff here. It's actually really cool. Basically, every October, they do this thing called Hacktoberfest, and it encourages people to contribute to open source projects.
Oh, so it's like a giant coding party for a whole month.
Pretty much. It's a really good way for developers to give back to the community, learn something new, work with other people. DigitalOcean even gives out prizes and, some cool swag.
I love that they're doing that. It's really cool that they encourage that.
Oh.
Okay, so we've talked about it a lot, from these droplets to databases and their community, even a coding festival. They've got a lot going on. But before we wrap up, I always like to leave our listener with something to think about.
I'm listening.
So we talked about how DigitalOcean is kind of shaking things up in the cloud world, right?
Right.
Doing things
Right.
differently.
Right.
They've got this developer-friendly approach. They're all about transparent pricing. They really believe in this community aspect.
Yeah.
But they're also thinking bigger, this
Yeah.
Paperspace acquisition. And they're doing more managed services now.
Right. Like they're not content with just being the developer cloud anymore. It's interesting.
Exactly. So that's what I'm wondering about. Where do they fit in the bigger picture of cloud computing? Are they trying to be like AWS or Azure, or are they doing their own thing?
It's a good question. I mean, it's like, are they trying to be the speedboat that can outrun the cargo ship? They've both got their own thing going on. DigitalOcean's not trying to be AWS. They're building something different.
Yeah, it's more like they've got a very specific set of tools, not trying to be the whole toolbox.
Exactly. DigitalOcean's all about that smooth, user-friendly experience that developers love, and businesses too, especially if they care about simplicity and knowing what they're paying for. And, it's smart because the cloud market can be a old tie.
It's true. It's like when you walk into a store and it's just overwhelming, but then you find a place and it's like curated and everything's just right.
That's a great way to put it. They've got a really loyal following because they focus on doing a few things really well, and people trust them.
And don't forget about that $200 credit they give new users to try them out. It's like they're saying, look, we're so sure you're going to like what you see. Here's some free stuff to play around with.
The best way to understand DigitalOcean is to just try it out, right?
For sure. So for our listener, who's now a DigitalOcean expert, what's the main thing you want them to take away from all of this?
I think it's this. If you need a cloud platform that was made by developers for developers, and they put simplicity, transparency, and community first, that's DigitalOcean.
Well said. You've definitely demystified the cloud for us. It's clear that DigitalOcean has something really special, it's powerful, but it's also something anyone can use, whether you're launching your first website or you're building the next AI. Hopefully this deep dive gave you some things to think about and maybe even inspired you to give DigitalOcean a try. Go out there and build something awesome.